Welcome to Buddhist Wisdom Daily, where we unlock the timeless teachings of ancient wisdom to help navigate our fast-paced modern lives. Today we're diving into something that seems simple yet holds far greater significance than we realize: donating old clothes. You probably think of it as an easy charitable act, a way to clear out your closet and help others in need. But what if I told you that giving away your old clothes might carry some unseen consequences? Not just for the person receiving them, but for your own health, fortune, and energy? In the next 20 minutes, we're going to explore the hidden layers of this seemingly innocuous act. Whether you know it or not, clothes are more than just fabric. They carry the imprints of emotions, experiences, and personal energy. So how can we make sure our good intentions don't backfire and bring bad luck instead? Let's uncover the spiritual and practical aspects of handling our old clothes with mindfulness and care. Stick with us as we explore this journey together, beginning with an important question. What happens when you carelessly pass on your old clothes? Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay connected with more life-changing insights. Now let's get started. In both Feng Shui and other spiritual traditions, clothing is considered a reflection of our personal energy. Think of it this way. Every time we wear a piece of clothing, it absorbs our emotions, our aura, and our life experiences. Imagine wearing a shirt that's been worn during moments of joy, celebration, and success. Can you feel how uplifting and light that shirt might make you feel? Now consider wearing a piece of clothing that's been through moments of sorrow, hardship, or illness. Do you sense a heavier, almost draining energy in it? It's as if the fabric carries the weight of the experiences tied to it. This connection between us and our clothing is deeply rooted in the concept of impermanence in Buddhist teachings. Anicca, or the impermanent nature of all things, tells us that everything we interact with, whether objects, people, or experiences, is constantly changing. Clothing, as something intimately tied to our bodies, absorbs and carries these changes from our high points to our low points. It's not just a piece of fabric, it holds our emotions, memories, and energies. There's an ancient story from Buddhist philosophy that illustrates this idea perfectly. A monk once inherited a robe from another monk who had faced great hardships throughout his life. As the monk wore the robe, he noticed that it felt heavy and burdened, not by its material weight, but by an overwhelming sense of sadness. After some reflection, the monk realized that the robe had absorbed the energy of the former monk's suffering. In understanding this, he decided to cleanse the robe through prayer and meditation, ultimately finding peace once the negative energy was removed. When we donate or give away clothing, we're not simply passing on a physical object. We're transferring energetic imprints from the past. Unknowingly, the new owner of that clothing may absorb the emotional residue left behind. This is why many people experience feelings of discomfort, unease, or even bad luck when wearing secondhand clothes. They might be absorbing the negative energy from the previous owner's experiences. Buddhist teachings often stress the idea that everything in life is interconnected, including the energy we share with our surroundings. In this view, clothing is no different. Our garments are in constant contact with our bodies, our emotions, and our minds. Just like a person's aura can influence the environment, the emotions that we carry in our clothes can be absorbed by the fabric and passed on. For instance, a piece of clothing that has been worn during a period of loss, illness, or trauma will carry the imprint of those emotions. When we wear that clothing or receive it from someone else, we may unknowingly take on that same energy. Fear, sadness, and disappointment can seep into the fibers, lingering long after the clothes are washed. This isn't just a superstition. It's an energetic reality that affects the recipient in subtle but impactful ways. This concept is closely tied to karma, the Buddhist belief that all actions, whether good or bad, carry energy that will eventually come back to us. When we wear clothes that have absorbed negative energy, we might unknowingly invite bad karma into our lives. It's not always visible or immediate, but over time, this negative energy can manifest as emotional unrest, bad luck, or a general sense of being off. Now that we understand how clothes can carry and transfer energy, let's discuss the hidden risks of giving away clothing without mindfulness. Donating clothes might seem like a simple, charitable act, but if done carelessly, it can lead to unintended negative consequences for both the giver and the recipient. Karma plays a significant role here. The Buddha taught that our actions are like seeds. Whatever we plant will eventually grow, either bringing us peace and fortune or bringing us trouble. When we donate clothes, we may be transferring energy along with the fabric. If the clothes are tied to negative experiences or emotional baggage, passing them on thoughtlessly can transfer that energy to someone else. Imagine this scenario. You donate a jacket that's been worn during a time of hardship. The jacket carries the weight of sadness, anxiety, or loss. The person who receives the jacket may not realize why they suddenly feel off or notice that things aren't going well in their life. The negative energy from the jacket can subtly affect their mood, health, and overall fortune. The worst-case scenario is that the recipient might simply discard the clothes without ever appreciating them, or worse, misuse them. This can lead to waste, but also to misfortune for both the giver and the receiver. The energy embedded in the clothes isn't neutral. It has consequences. If the clothes are not passed on with care and consideration, it can create negative karma, which rebounds onto both parties involved. This is why mindfulness is crucial when donating clothes. The Buddha's teachings about right intention stress that the intention behind every action matters. When we give without mindfulness, without thinking about the recipient's needs or the energy we're passing on, we risk inadvertently causing harm, even with the best of intentions. In many spiritual traditions, personal belongings, especially clothing, are believed to hold and carry the energy of their owner. This includes not just the emotions and experiences of the wearer, but also their intentions, actions, and even the events they have gone through. When we wear something, whether it's a shirt, a jacket, or a pair of shoes, we are leaving behind an energetic imprint. And this imprint can stay within the fabric long after the clothing is no longer in use. Buddhist teachings often stress that everything in the universe is interconnected. Impersonal items like clothing are no exception. They are intimately tied to us, more so than other objects, because they are physically close to our bodies. Therefore, when we discard or pass along clothes, we risk transferring more than just the physical fabric. We are also passing along the energy that was embedded within them during the time they were worn. This becomes especially important when considering the spiritual risks of old clothing falling into the wrong hands. Imagine a piece of clothing being passed on to someone with negative intentions. In many cultures, it is believed that clothes can be used for spiritual rituals, including dark practices like casting spells, summoning negative energy, or even attempting to affect the fate of the original owner. While this may seem superstitious to some, there have been numerous accounts of discarded clothing being used in dark rituals, leading to harmful consequences for the original owner or the unsuspecting new owner. In Feng Shui, clothing and personal belongings are seen as vessels that carry the energetic residue of past experiences. This is why, according to spiritual beliefs, it's essential to approach the act of discarding or donating clothes with care and respect. If old clothes, particularly those associated with intense emotions, trauma, or misfortune, are not properly cleansed before they are passed on, they may inadvertently carry this negative energy with them. A famous Buddhist parable tells of a man who, after losing his wealth and status, decided to donate his clothes to those in need, thinking he was doing a good deed. However, the clothes he donated had absorbed his desperation and despair during his fall from grace. Those who received the clothes began experiencing unexplainable setbacks and misfortunes, mirroring the man's own decline. It was only when he cleansed his spirit and the clothes through prayer and meditation that the negative effects were lifted. This story serves as a reminder that clothing is not simply an object, it is an energetic extension of the person who wore it, and if we are not careful, we could unknowingly pass on more than we intend. While the spiritual and emotional risks of secondhand clothing are significant, we must not forget the physical risks that come with wearing clothes that have been worn by others, especially if those clothes have been stored for a long time. Even though clothing may appear clean on the surface, bacteria, mold, and allergens can linger in the fabric, especially if the clothes have been stored in damp or improper conditions. These microorganisms can accumulate unnoticed, and when worn, they can cause a range of health issues. Skin irritation, respiratory problems, and even allergic reactions can result from wearing clothes that are contaminated with mold, dust, or bacteria. In the Buddhist understanding of health, the body is seen as a vessel for the mind and spirit, and keeping it clean and free from harmful influences is essential for maintaining balance and well-being. When we wear secondhand clothing that hasn't been properly cleaned or treated, we are not only exposing ourselves to potential physical harm, but we may also be unknowingly allowing external factors to affect our internal balance. Wearing unclean clothing can leave us feeling sluggish, uncomfortable, or even mentally drained, much like how the energy imprints on the fabric can drain our spiritual energy. A traditional Chinese proverb states, "A clean body is a clean mind." This wisdom emphasizes the importance of cleanliness, not just for our external appearance, but for our internal harmony as well. When we wear clothes that harbor harmful substances, it disrupts not only our physical health, but our overall sense of well-being. Moreover, certain clothing materials can retain sweat, oils, or chemicals from previous owners, which can cause skin reactions for those with sensitive skin or allergies. For instance, old clothing might still have traces of perfumes, harsh detergents, or chemical residues that were used during its previous life. These substances can irritate the skin, causing rashes, itching, or even more serious skin conditions like dermatitis. While the emotional and spiritual significance of clothing is often highlighted in spiritual traditions, physical health must also be considered. Taking the time to properly clean and sanitize secondhand clothes before wearing them is essential for protecting both the body and the spirit. This mindful approach ensures that we are not only passing on the right energy, but also safeguarding our health and well-being. One of the most effective ways to cleanse clothes spiritually is by washing them with salt water or ginger-infused water. Salt is a powerful purifier in many spiritual traditions. It is believed to neutralize negative energy and bad luck, acting as a natural barrier against harmful influences. Ginger, on the other hand, is often used to restore balance and positive energy. This cleansing ritual can be done by dissolving salt into water and soaking the clothes, or by adding ginger to the wash. The combination of salt and ginger is said to not only cleanse the clothes, but also refresh their energy, leaving them free from any negativity they might have absorbed. After washing, it's important to let the clothes dry in sunlight. In Feng Shui, sunlight is considered a powerful source of positive energy. Sunlight not only purifies the clothes, but also replenishes their life force. In many ancient cultures, the sun is viewed as a symbol of renewal and vitality, and by letting the clothes bask in its light, you are infusing them with life-giving energy. Another crucial step in preparing old clothes for donation is to fold them neatly and present them with care. This small act of respect shows the recipient that they are valued and that the clothes are not simply discarded items. By presenting them thoughtfully, you ensure that the clothes will be received with gratitude and a positive mindset. This approach fosters a sense of compassion and gratitude, turning what could be an ordinary act into a meaningful one that has the potential to create positive energy for both you and the recipient. In Buddhism, the act of giving is sacred. The Dhammapada, one of the most revered Buddhist texts, reminds us that the gift with a pure heart is the most precious. By handling old clothes with care, you not only provide practical help, but also give a gift of good energy, reinforcing the law of karma, that our actions, especially those performed with good intentions, will always return to us. Not all clothes are suitable for donation, especially those that are too worn out or carry negative energy. But instead of simply throwing them away, consider recycling them in ways that are both spiritually and ecologically beneficial. This practice of repurposing old clothes ensures that they continue to serve a positive purpose while reducing waste, thus contributing to the well-being of both the environment and the energy around us. One way to recycle old clothes is by turning them into cleaning rags or pet bedding. Soft, absorbent fabrics like cotton can be repurposed for household cleaning, reducing the need for disposable paper towels. Not only does this reduce waste, but it also gives the clothing a new functional purpose. Similarly, old clothes can be used to create comfortable bedding for pets, ensuring that they continue to serve a meaningful role. For those with a creative side, old clothes can also be transformed into new fashion items or decorative pieces. A worn-out shirt can be turned into a stylish tote bag, or an old dress could be made into a beautiful pillowcase or cushion cover. Upcycling clothes not only gives them new life, but it also infuses the process with personal creativity, making each item a reflection of both your practical and spiritual intentions. This approach aligns with Buddhist teachings on sustainability and mindful living. The Buddha taught that our consumption and use of resources should be aligned with the principles of respect and responsibility. Rather than mindlessly discarding items, we are encouraged to respect and find new uses for them, keeping in mind that everything in life is interconnected and should be treated with care. Recycling old clothes is a powerful way to honor this teaching, as it not only reduces waste, but also promotes a mindset of resourcefulness and mindful consumption. Sometimes clothes carry such strong emotional or spiritual imprints, especially those associated with periods of hardship, trauma, or loss, that it may be best to burn or bury them rather than passing them on. In spiritual practices, fire and earth are seen as powerful elements for cleansing and transformation. Burning old clothes is considered a symbolic and spiritual purification process. In Buddhist tradition, fire represents the purification of attachments and the transformation of negative energy. By burning clothes under sunlight, you are not just destroying the physical fabric, but you are transforming the energy that the clothes carry. This process helps release any lingering negativity and makes space for new energy to enter your life. However, it's important to remember that this ritual should be done mindfully. It's not a process of destruction, but one of transmutation. The belief that by burning the clothes, you are changing their energetic imprint and releasing any harmful influences they may have absorbed. When done with intention, burning clothes can bring a sense of relief and closure, freeing both the clothes and the owner from the past. Alternatively, if burning isn't an option, burying the clothes can also serve as an effective way to cleanse them. The earth has long been seen as a healing and grounding force in many spiritual practices. Burying old clothes allows the earth to absorb any negative energy and neutralize the imprints that have been left behind. As the fabric decomposes, it returns to nature, completing the cycle of life and restoring balance. In Taoism and other spiritual traditions, it's believed that Earth has the power to absorb negativity and transform it into something neutral. Burying old clothes is a symbolic act of letting go, of releasing the past and allowing nature to return the clothes to their rightful place, free of negative energy. This process, whether through burning or burying, can offer a sense of peace and closure, especially when you have experienced emotional trauma or hardship. It's a way of acknowledging that while the past cannot be erased, you can still choose to release it with respect and intention. Old clothes are far more than just material possessions. They carry deep energetic, emotional, and spiritual imprints. When donating or disposing of them, it's essential to understand the impact on both the recipient and yourself. By handling them with care, cleansing them properly, and choosing the right person to receive them, you can ensure that both you and the new owner continue to experience good fortune and peace. At Buddhist Wisdom Daily, we embrace the practice of mindful living, where every action is intentional and every object is treated with the respect it deserves. The way we handle old clothes serves as a reflection of our understanding of energy, karma, and our shared responsibility toward the world around us. If you found this video insightful, don't stop here. There's a wealth of wisdom waiting for you in our other videos. Like, subscribe, and explore more life-changing teachings that can guide you toward a more peaceful, mindful existence. Stay tuned, and may your journey toward balance and enlightenment continue to unfold.